Hello everyone and welcome to a bite-sized version of Then, Now and the Next Game. I am your host Scott Carney and joining me to round up reaction from last night, discuss today's press conference and to preview the Dundee United game even is Ali Pearson.
How we doing? Just still recovering from last night. Took me a while to get to sleep last night. I was lying there with the adrenaline running through us, so it was I still don't know what to think about last night, to be honest, but obviously it'll come on now.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I struggled through today, something terrible, and it's not even as if I had a lot of beers last night. But I think it's the adrenaline, how much adrenaline you had last night. It's just the next day's just been a pure slog, and work was a bit of a slog.
It drains you as well watching those type of games physically. I think, like
No,
physically, it's just mad. It's mad to explain it to somebody that maybe doesn't watch football that it emotionally drains you as well.
Oh, 100%, mate. And today was just one of them days where I was just like, nothing was happening for me. And then had to take the dog out there as I finished work and was pushing down. And I'm like, oh, it's just magic this today. But obviously, I'm absolutely delighted the fact that Rangers managed to win the game last night. What a crazy game of football. We have done, obviously, an immediate match reaction to the game last night. So you can back and check that out. It's a rather lengthy one, but it's rather a good one. I listened back to it this morning and it sounded pretty decent. So yeah, we'll just start with it then. And obviously it's the day after the night before, as we've just been saying, and we're obviously referring to Antwerp 3, Rangers 4. So Gerrard on the match said it was a crazy match and I'm sure the neutrals enjoyed it, but as a coach or a manager I'll be looking into it as we had too many issues defensively. The goals we conceded are poor from our point of view, so there is certainly work to do and a lot of improvement to do, especially at this level where you get punished a lot more. But in terms of what the players are giving me, I asked them for more at half time. I felt we only committed to the game. I wouldn't say half-heartedly, but we weren't ourselves. We were a little bit slow and a little bit lethargic at times, and we have conceded goals that we don't normally concede. So I asked the players for more, both in and out of possession. I told them to play with more belief and more personality when we were regaining the ball, as well as getting some fantastic opportunities, but we weren't really taking them in the first half. But in the second half, we played with a bit more character and belief, so the outcome of the game is fantastic for us, but there's still a lot of improving to do. So he also had special mention for, or special praise, if you like, for Kent and Balogun, as well as Morelos for their contribution on the match. So, Ali, very honest from the gaffer as always. I like that he comes out and he kind of assesses it how he sees it. Really doesn't try to sugarcoat anything.
Yeah, no, he's always sort of dissects a game the way we look at the game. To be honest, he doesn't sugarcoat it. Like you say, says what he sees. To be honest, and I mean the conceding the goals. I agree with them in terms of domestic form. We don't concede goals, but in Europe we have conceded a lot of these goals. So I think he's maybe talking about overall, but in terms of Europe, we've conceded a lot of schoolboy goals over the last, you could probably say, 2 years. So it seems to be in Europe. Maybe Scotia was right. It's a better calibre of team. I don't know, but it's something to do with Europe. I don't know what it is. I don't know if because the game's more open than what we're used to possibly. I don't really know, but no, I agree with Gerrard. I think he'll be delighted, to be honest. If somebody said to Gerrard before the game, you'll come away here winning the game, he would have bit your hand off for it, no doubt. So probably not the way it panned out. And I could hear in his voice this morning he was very croaky. So yeah, he probably spent 90 minutes shouting like the rest of us. But no, I think he'll be delighted deep down. The injuries will be the thing that'll be annoying him, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, when we get to the now, mate, we'll come on to the injuries and the kind of updates that we got this morning from the press conference. But yeah, I mean, I like his assessment on the game. I fully get it, and I think it's quite easy to only concentrate on the fact that we conceded 3 goals. We shouldn't have conceded 3 goals, but we've went to Belgium and we've scored 4. I mean, you've got to give the team credit for that. We've came back from behind twice, and we've managed to come away with a win. I don't expect a game like that next Thursday. I don't think it'll be anything like that. I think obviously Gerrard's going to learn from it. It doesn't seem to be as high scoring games at Ibrox. It seems to be when we go away in Europe. This seems to happen for whatever reason. I've no idea why, because it's been Benfica and Braga this has happened. So again, it's just one of them crazy nights of football, and it's one of them games that you watch back. I've watched the highlights this morning, didn't get the chance to watch a full match, but I watched the highlights this morning, and it's just a crazy game of football. And the refereeing still stands out for me as being shambolic at best. I can't understand really many of the decisions that referee made. Bizarre, bizarre decisions. VAR as well. Gerrard made mention on it that it went for us and it didn't go for us all at the same time. So he didn't really want to get kind of led down that path. He quite quickly kind of shut that down. And obviously, if it was ever to come into Scottish football, it would be something we all need to adjust to. I would definitely need to adjust to it, because if that's going to happen every game, you'll have a heart attack for sure, Ali. But I'll definitely have a heart attack. So yeah, I mean, he was still delighted, but again, just still very honest from him. So we'll jump on to the now. In today's press conference, it was Steven Gerrard and Leon Balogun. Gerrard confirmed, obviously, that Tavernier and Roofe will be out for Sunday at least, possibly going to get a specialist to look at Roofe, as it seems to be a recurring calf injury for him. We'll just touch on Roofe. This could be something he needs operated on. I mean, if it's something that's happening quite often for him, we might not see him the rest of the season.
I don't think we will. I mean, when Morelos got suspended, or when was it? He got suspended. The first suspension, not the one he just got there, we were on about. We were quite light in terms of Roofe up there. And I did mention, I don't think we could rely on Roofe because he's injury prone. If you look at Roofe's career, wherever he's been, Leeds, Anderlecht, he seems to have a run of games and then he just shuts down. I don't know whether it's his body or not. That's possibly why we've got him in a kind of cut price deal from Anderlecht, because they maybe want to get rid of him because that's maybe what his body's like, unfortunately. And the last couple of games he started, he's been, I mean, we've all said it in this, he's been miles and miles off the pace, which I don't understand. What's Gerrard seen in training? I mean, he was going on about Roofe before the game, and he's going to lay it all out in the park. He's not playing at the weekend.
Yeah.
He must be seeing something we're not seeing, because the last two games we've seen him, and I've listened to other Rangers podcasts, and they're all saying the same thing. He's miles off it, and I just don't understand why he's starting.
Yeah, I would agree. And as I say, we were told as well that Kent was carrying a knock in inverted commas or whatever, and Kent come on and had the impact he had on the game. I don't really see why you would start with. Again, Gerrard has said that he was trying to rest Kent. He said that today in the press conference, and he was trying to give him a bit of a breather. Obviously, it didn't happen. But, I mean, the case in point is the one where Roofe gets sent down the right-hand side and he's trying to beat that centre-back to the ball. And I'm like, he looked like he was going backwards at one point. I was like, God, no pace in his legs at all. So, yeah, it's a worrying one. It could be quite a lengthy one. I hope it's not. But, again, we do have Morelos back now. We've obviously got said to Ted, and Defoe's going to be back as well. That was confirmed today by Gerrard that he'll be in the squad. So we're not that short. Not as short as we are at right back. So that kind of leads us nicely on to Tavernier. So on Tav, he said that he would be getting a scan either done today or tomorrow morning, which obviously would be Saturday morning. It's an injury that might take days, he said. It might take weeks, or it might take even longer, but they won't know until the scan is done, as the doctor has done the full assessment, and yeah, he's kind of done all he can do at this point, so we have to wait for the MRI scan. Now, knowing Rangers and knowing the way that we get the strokes of luck that we get, mate, he's probably going to be out for about 6 months, isn't he?
Yeah, Gerrard's obviously not committing to anything yet, because he can't, because he needs the medical advice of a scan, but it didn't look good. When Tav went into that challenge, I mean, you're always told if you go in for a 50-50, you need to go in hard. If you go in half-hearted, you're going to hurt yourself. And I think that's what happened. I really do. And if it is medial ligaments in the knee, it could be it could be 4 to 6 weeks. It could be the end of the season for him. And it leaves us, I mean, we talked about Patterson, and we don't need to talk any more about him, but it leaves us extremely light there. He did mention a few suggestions. I mean, I did think Scott Arfield's one I always thought of. He did mention him. He mentioned Glenn Kamara as well at right back, which...
No, thank you.
I had a fear of that one. Ryan Jack obviously can play there. He's played there with Aberdeen. He's played there with Scotland, but you don't want Ryan Jack at right back. He needs to be in the middle of the park for us. So, but, I mean... I thought Big Balogun done really well last night, and he's played right back when he was out in Germany, so he took a while to adjust it. I think us as Rangers fans going forward will need to remember he's not James Tavernier going up and down that wing all the time, so give him a bit of slack, but I think he can do more than a job for us for the next remainder of the season, probably.
Yeah, Yeah, 100%, mate. I thought Balogun did really, really well. He's kind of it dropped in at the deep end, really. Gerrard had said as well that he kind of left his ego at the door and he was just happy to play anywhere that he could for the team, so he did really, really well. Obviously, I mean, I've come out and said that it's going to be 6 months for Tav. I don't want that at all. I want this to be a few days. I want this to be, he has to miss maybe the next 2 matches or something and he gets back fighting fit, because if anybody deserves to see this season out in our entire squad, it has to be James Tavernier for me. He deserves every bit of praise and every bit of glory that's hopefully going to come his way. So fingers crossed for him. Obviously, we'll know more as soon as the scan's done. But he will definitely not be playing on Sunday. I don't think there's, even if the scan's clear, he's definitely still not going to be playing. There's no way they'll take the risk. So, as we just spoke about, Gerrard obviously made comment about the kind of massive role of filling James Tavernier's boots. He knows Balogun can play there, as we've said. He played there for, I think he actually said Balogun and his at the press conference today, he said the last time he played there was for Brighton at right back.
Against Sheffield Wednesday, yeah.
So I mean, he has played there before, and by the looks of it, I mean, yeah, he spoke about Arfield, Jack, Kamara.
Do you know who he reminds me of at right back? And see, I don't like talking about the other side of the city, but when they didn't have a right back, they put that big Ayer at right back.
Yeah.
It's a very similar player. And he actually, Celtic fans were actually praising him because he was actually doing well at right back for them, but very similar kind of situation, to be honest.
Very much so, mate. It's a very good point to make. And I mean, from what he showed last night, I mean, defensively he's solid. He's got a good bit of pace. He's not going to have the final ball James Tavernier has. It's never going to be the same. And he's not going to make them kind of darting runs that Tav makes when he finds himself in between the goals. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be Balogun. The manager pretty much confirmed that it will be Balogun that he starts with right back. But he did also mention, obviously, about the possibility of going into an emergency signing, depending on the scan. Now, the first thing that I seen as soon as he'd mentioned that flying about was Flanagan. That's not going to happen.
Has he not got a club then?
I'm pretty sure he's not got a contract. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does. But I've seen a few things.
Do you know who else I heard on Twitter?
Who?
And he was sitting in the studio last night. Alan Hutton was an emergency.
Oh God! To be fair, mate, if he's fit, then it's not the worst.
Do you know the last time he played? Remember the Legends game that Gerrard played last year?
Yeah,
he played in that one, and we all looked at him and went, "Christ, he could do a job, by the way."
Yeah, man, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm hoping that Tavernier's injury isn't that bad, and we don't have to even think about doing an emergency signing for a player that's obviously not got a club just now. But if it turns out Tav's going to be out for however many months, then the rumours are going to be wild, man, absolutely wild with the players that are not got a club. But anyway, we'll obviously see what happens whenever we get the news about Tav and what the club and what Gerrard decide to do moving forward. Just interestingly as well, just at the end, he mentioned that Walter Smith's kind of been an unofficial mentor to him, and he's only a phone call away if Gerrard needs advice on anything. So a bit of class as always from Sir Walter. I think he matched Walter's winning record in Europe, or beat it. One of the two.
Yeah, I think he beat it. I'd need to double check that, to be honest. But I know, I mean, last year before the COVID, you'd see him in pictures at his training ground a few times. I have noticed when Walter's on Rangers TV, every time they brought Gerrard up for interviews, Neil McCarron would always ask, he'd never asked a question, Walter. He always kind of stood off a wee bit. But, I mean, for a guy to turn to for advice, I mean, you couldn't get any better than Walter Smith, been there, done it, bought a T-shirt. So, no, it's probably quite good with Walter in his ear, just giving a wee bit of advice and what to do. So, no, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good. One of the ones that kind of made you smile is you kind of see Gerrard talking about it. You're like, oh, that's staunch, that is. But you would expect that, to be honest. Walter Smith's obviously a Rangers man at heart. He's an absolute legend to both me and you, mate, and every Rangers fan, really. We grew up with him. He was the man. He was my second dad. I've always said that when I was growing up. Walter was my second dad. So yeah, really, really nice touch though. So obviously the full interviews of today's press conferences are on Rangers' official YouTube channel, so you can go there and check them out. So that leads us nicely on to the next game. So Rangers take on Dundee United at Ibrox on Sunday, kick-off 3 p.m. and it will be on RTV. The last 5 games are a bit of a mixed bag for Dundee United. They've had 3 losses and 2 wins, including a 5-1 down by St Mirren at Tannadice. That was at the end of January, but they've won their last 2 games back to back. They are currently sitting 7th in the league. So Ali, what are you expecting from Dundee United on Sunday?
I don't think they'll sit in like Kilmarnock and a few teams we're used to. I think Mickey Mellon likes to try and play football. I think he's got a similar philosophy to Brian Rice, the way he plays at Hamilton. I think he'll win. I think they're a couple of points behind St Mirren in 6th place. I think St Mirren have got a couple of games in hand on them though, but yeah, they'll be looking at that thinking we could possibly get into that top 6. I don't know if they really could because there's only 4 games left, I think. So it'd be a tough ask, but they would need to win it. So what's the point of them coming to Ibrox and sitting back? I think they'll come and have a go at us, and I think it will suit Rangers. You've seen the first game at Ibrox, they high pressed us the first 10-15 minutes, really high up the park. Done quite well, to be honest. Then kind of blew out of steam and we just ran away. I think it was 4-0 that day, but
yeah,
no, I think this game could suit Rangers, and hopefully we'll see quite a few goals on Sunday for Rangers.
Yeah, I would love it, mate. I would love if we get a right wee bounce, a right wee kickstart to the season, as you've been saying, mate, in the last kind of couple of pods, that this hopefully reignites the fire and we kind of start showing the belief in. The team start showing the belief in themselves that they have been the whole season, because it seems to be lacking just slightly. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I think it could be. They will. I don't think they will sit in. It's not, as you said. They're not going to come and try and defend. I think they'll try and give it a go as much as they can. Obviously, if Rangers are going to continue to play the same way, it will be interesting to see the way the team kind of shapes up. Obviously, Balogun's going to try his best to get up and down, but a lot of the emphasis is going to be put on Borna Barisic now. I'd imagine we kind of try the left-hand side more than we try the right, whereas it used to be kind of 50-50 probably the way we used to do it. So it'll be interesting to see if they try and kind of stop Barisic from getting forward. But yeah, it'll be quite an interesting game. I do think this is a kind of game, this is Rangers bread and butter, really, for me. This is Dundee United at home, 3 p.m. kick-off. Okay, it's on a Sunday due to Europe, but this should be a game that we go there, we go to Ibrox and we win comfortably. So, yeah, we'll go with starting 11s, mate. So, obviously, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one, this. It's hard to pick, to be honest. I don't know how much he's going to change it. Do you want to go first?
Cheers. I was humming and hawing about this one all day. I think my back line, I think it'll be the same as yours. I think it picks itself. It'll be Shagger, Balogun, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic. I think my midfield 3, I think, will be Kamara, Jack, and Aribo. I think he'll rest Davis, and I think the top 3 will be Kent, Morelos, and I think Scott Wright might start. That's my lineup.
That's out of. We were saying we were struggling to pick a teammate, and we've picked exactly the same team.
We picked the same team?
Yeah, 100%. Because he mentioned Wright again as well in the press conference today as well, and I was like, that boy's going to get a start.
Said he's there to go.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a start. And the only hummed and hawed between possibly playing Hadji and resting Kent, just because he was saying he was trying to give Kent a breather, and the impact Kent had from the bench.
I wouldn't rest him.
No,
just wasn't to go. Aye,
sent them back out. Yeah, because his goal was an absolute cracker last night. To be fair, it was an absolute great goal. Every time I've seen it since, the link-up play with Morelos was excellent. Morelos was great last night as well, so he'll be ready to go. And yeah, I think Scott Wright will get his chance. I think this is the kind of game that he should get his chance in and show what he's all about. So yeah, what's your score prediction, mate? What are you going for?
I'm going to go 3-0 Rangers. Morelos to get the first goal.
I'm going to go 4-0 Rangers. I think Kent will score, and I think Scott Wright will score, and probably Morelos, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, this is just a wee bite-sized show that we're doing, just so we've obviously done a wee preview. Obviously, last night's game was a bit hectic. We'd planned to do this after the game last night to preview the Dundee United game, but there was just no time. We had to get to bed at some sort of hour. But yeah, So, just now over on our Facebook page, we are currently raising money for MND Scotland. We're aiming to raise £555 for the charity, and by making a £1 donation via our Facebook page, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a framed artwork print of Fernando Rickson and a copy of the book Fernando Rickson, The Final Battle. Head to our Facebook page. The pinned post at the top will tell you everything you need to do in order to enter. So thank you to everyone so much for donating. We're at about £180 just now, so we're creeping up slightly, but there is only 2 weeks left now. So if you're going to donate, then please do so soon. But thank you, and thank you to everyone that's going to do it in advance. Let's help fight the battle against MND. So, Ali, thank you very much for your time, mate. Enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your Saturday sitting about waiting for Rangers to play on Sunday. And I'll speak to you on Sunday, mate.
Yeah, no, cheers. I know. I look forward to it on Sunday, 3 o'clock as well, which is a good time for a game of football. So, no, I'm looking forward to it.
And last but not least, thank you to all for listening. So please like, subscribe, follow, and share anywhere that you can. We'll speak to you on Sunday, as I just said, after the Dundee United game. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers.